What's up, guys, and welcome back to my F1 2017 career mode, and we're here for the finale of season 4 on this particular career mode, and 80 episodes in this particular series. Absolutely incredible milestone, and I didn't think I'd be this far into the series this early on, so a massive thank you to you guys for the constant support and all the comments for getting me this far into the series, and already at the end of season 4 and about to embark onto a new journey onto season 5. But first of all, we've got bigger fish to fry, and that is the first and pretty much the one to set the tone in terms of qualifying. The qualifying one session, just to get an early indication of where everybody is. We're cutting out practice because it's not important, as there's not going to be no more R&D upgrades on the car, as I will be leaving Mercedes after this race. So we've got to focus on Saturday qualifying and trying to get a good grid position for tomorrow's race. And straight away, Q1 went really well for us. Solid qualifying position, and then into Q2, opting for these slower, super soft tyres, and the car was working very nicely for me around this track. Compared to the last race in Brazil, the car was absolutely perfect around here. Switched on to an absolute T, and it was very enjoyable to drive. And we did go briefly fastest in Q2 on super softs. Eventually, though, we would drop down to 4th place and almost a second off the pace. And I'm a little bit concerned that I was struggling for pace quite badly here. So I had to pull a big lap out the bag in Q3 to try and get a result. Vettel was really on it all weekend, and in qualifying, he was setting some ridiculous lap times. You just saw there on the screen, a 1:35. Absolutely incredible pace from Sebastian Vettel there. And I was really up against it going into the final run in Q3 here. So into the first corner now, and you want to go down to 4th gear. Really important that you get a lot of momentum through this corner. I take a little bit too cautiously, in my opinion, as we now go flat out through turn 2 into turn 3, and then basically flat out now all the way down to the first sector split, and then down into the little chicane section. I overcorrect too much. I turn in too early initially, and I have to take a second bite of the cherry, and that actually cost me, I reckon, about a 10th of a second, just losing all the momentum into that corner. But luckily, we are still a 10th and a bit up on our previous attempt. So DRS now open on the back straight, and people going faster left, right and centre, so we now drop down to 4th place. But now 100 metre board for the brake zone into the chicane here. 3rd gear, sacrifice the first one to get a better run through the second right-hander to try and open up the exit and pick up the traction. I take a little bit too aggressively there, but luckily I still gained some lap time, and we're a couple of tenths up now on the back straight going into sector 2. So now pretty much braking here on instinct. There's not really a major braking point or brake marker board. So now going through the sort of chicane section, and then through this next off-camber left-hander here. Very tricky corner to go off wide there, so you've got to try and have a very planted front end on the car, and then flat out through these double right-handers, and then down a few more gears for a 90-degree right-hander that feeds into the double left-hander underneath the hotel. And so far the lap's going very well. We're gaining a lot of time in this final sector, and now we're going to go into the penultimate corner, down to 5th gear, really use all the track available to you, and then one more corner to negotiate. The final corner, get the power on as soon as possible, run it to the line, and it's going to be a pretty damn good lap there, and one of the best ones I could hook up, you know, and P3 is going to be the final result for us. So not too bad, and a very good qualifying lap, one that I think maybe I could have shaved a 10th off because of that correction that I had to do into turn 4. But other than that, I mean, I might have got RAIKKONEN I might have got him, but there was no chance anyone was touching Sebastian Vettel's lap. Absolutely incredible pace from the German there. So Vettel takes pole in the final race of the season ahead of his teammate, and this Mercedes 2nd row, and then a Force India 3rd row, and then a Red Bull 4th row. So the 4 big boys all locking out the top 8 spots, with Hülkenberg and Massa bringing out the top 10. But it's going to be an interesting race tomorrow, as I'm the only person starting on super softs in the top 10. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight to Sunday for the final race of season 4 in career mode on Sunday for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Kimi Räikkönen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have a Mercedes, Perez, Esteban Ocon and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Massa and Fernando Alonso, Kvyat, Palmer, Stoffel Van Dorn and Hamilton, Sainz, Stroll, Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein. Magnussen and Roman Grosjean starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, it all comes down to this. We're on the grid at Abu Dhabi. It's the final race of the season. 3rd place on the grid, Kimi Räikkönen, my title rival, to my left-hand side. The task for Räikkönen is very simple, just like in the last season's finale race. If he wins and I come home 2nd place, he becomes the World Drivers' Champion. And if I win, it's game over. So it's basically a race to the finish. Sebastian Vettel is going to be the wild card in this race. So let's see how it pans out. Based off of qualifying, we don't have the pace in the Ferrari, so we're going to have to hope for a miracle in race pace, and hopefully our one-stop strategy will help us out, as we're going to be the only person on these super soft compound tyres. Hopefully our start is pretty good as well, because obviously we're on a slower tyre. But in terms of speaking about tyres, in terms of the race strategy, as you can see, one stop for us, alternate two stop given to us, and also I've overfueled by 2 laps because I want to run rich mix quite a bit this race, and I want to try and extract the maximum amount of the car. Also, this strategy remains open to change depending on safety cars or whatever the hell might happen in this race. So I'm ready. Hope you guys are ready. If you are, then please do leave a like on the video. And without further ado, let's jump straight to the final race of Season 4 for the F1 2017 Career Mode. Right then, here we are on the grid for the final time in Abu Dhabi. 5 red lights. And lights out and away we go for the final time this season. Vettel off to a shaky start. Raikkonen gets a better start than his teammate as we go into turn 1 for the first time. Vettel, though, holds it around the outside of Kimi. And there we go. We're going to just go in single file through this section. We've held on to our 3rd place. Pretty good start to say we was on super softs. And we're going to have a little look into this next corner here on Kimi. But the tyres are just a little bit cold, and I'm not really ready for a lunge. We don't need to risk it because right now, in this position, we are world champions. So we don't have to go any rash moves or anything too risky. We just got to try and control the race and also control Raikkonen. Obviously, our pace on this tyre will be down on those around us for the first few laps. But let's see if we can keep up pace with these guys, and who knows, maybe even go for an overtake. But thus far, it's looking pretty much neck and neck in the straight line speed department here as we break for the chicane for the first time. Raikkonen locks up a little bit here. That's going to open up the gap for me to possibly have a go on the Iceman. He's lost the slipstream to his teammate here, so we might have a chance of having a pop on Kimi after that mistake. And here we go, we're in the slipstream off the Iceman. He's going to go defensive. We're going to go to the outside. Can we get it on the brakes? Just haven't got the grip on the tyres, though. I'm going to have a look, but no way through just yet. And Raikkonen holds on to 2nd place, but there was our first early warning shot towards the Finnish driver. Right, so we just co-opted this battle. It's all kicking off now, and Raikkonen's going for a move on Vettel. Sebastian has issues with his car, and we're now right back in this mix. DRS is now unable this lap. Unfortunately, I've realised I've got no team radio for the 2nd race running, so we're going to now use this rich mix and basically use this as an opportunity to try and get past both of the Ferraris here and try and make the move early on and take the lead of this race. We're going to get it also down for the braking into the chicane, lock up on the left front, but we're into the lead of the race, and we've got past both of the Ferraris in one straight. And now we're into the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is absolutely critical because Raikkonen, who made that move on Vettel, would have been running away with it at the front of the race if I hadn't responded to him making that move. So I have to really concentrate. I can see Vettel was struggling from quite a far way back. So when Raikkonen made that move straight away, I just realised, and I just had to pounce and try and make the overtake count. But so far, it's all working out beautifully for us, holding 1st place. As things stand, we're world champion. If the positions reverse, Kimi's the world champion. That's how close this race is going to be. Right, I'm in rich mix. Here comes Kimi Raikkonen, though. He's got DRS wide open. He's going to look for a move on the inside. I'm going to cover the inside line. He's going to opt for the outside, though, into the chicane here. We're just going to hold it and defend our position beautifully there and keep the Iceman behind us. But straight away, Raikkonen on the offensive. Eventually, though, he might make the move due to the tyres. But the main thing is that I actually cost him time so that when he does come in, regardless of where I think he's probably going to be on a 2-stop, to be honest. So when he comes in, we'll have the benefit of the 1-stop strategy. So I've got to be careful of my tyres to not kill them, basically, because I need these tyres to last. Otherwise, if I don't do the 1-stop, this race is going to get very, very risky. Right, good news, we've got team radio. It's fixed and it's back online. So the first time in 1.5 races that we've got the team radio. So that is very, very good for us. And we can now use Jeff for the first time since Mexico as our engineer to try and help us out in this race and give us all the information that we need. Okay, Raikkonen might go for a lunge here. I'm going to pull over to the inside slightly because he's got a huge slipstream on me. I'm in rich mix, but he's just got the edge on me in terms of straight line speed. He's going to make the move up the inside, or straight around the outside, should I say. He's going to be on the inside for the chicane. I'm going to go around the outside and just hang it there, but I've got to leave Kimi the room on the apex, and he's still there with me. I think he's going to have DRS now, so it's going to be a drag race into the next brake zone. And here comes Sergio Perez here. He's going for a move on the inside, 3 wide into the brake zone here. This is not going to work. It's going to get so close. Bit of wheel contact, but still 3 wide here. Oh no, please just feather our way through, and there we go. We've just survived somehow, being so careful with the steering wheel there, and we've managed to come out on top. And Raikkonen actually dropped back behind Esteban Ocon here, so Raikkonen dropping through the field, and Perez now into second place. But that was very, very scary there, and it was way too early for one of those dramatic moments. But nonetheless, we've stayed in first place here, and now Perez is in second, and Raikkonen has retaken third place. Okay, Kimi Raikkonen has come in on that last lap, so he's into the pit lane now, and we'll have to wait and see what tyre comes in. You guys can probably see it on the replay on screen right now, but I don't know what tyre he's on, so I've got to keep pushing here. And right now, I'm currently setting the pace, and these tyres do feel pretty good still. They're not that worn, actually. I can comfortably get to at least lap 12 or 13 with these, no issues. So the one stop is not going to be a problem this race. So Raikkonen's got to try and find some pace from somewhere and get the hammer down, because the pressure is on him now as he goes on that two-stop strategy. So right now we can just control the car, control the pace, and that last lap was better than some of my last laps. So that's actually the fastest one I've done since like lap 4. So currently pushing hard, and they're trying to shake off Perez here from DRS, because now that he can't keep up because of Raikkonen and double DRS now, if I can just shake him outside of a second, I think I can keep Perez outside of it. So let's keep on pushing here, and Perez should be in this lap anyway, so we'll be running by ourselves by the end of this lap probably. Okay, so now all the ultra soft runners have pit, so the next closest car is Fernando Alonso on super soft. So right now I've cranked up to rich mix, and it's time to set a couple of competitive lap times before we come in for soft compound tyres. Right, here we go. Then we're going to come in for our first and hopefully only stop of the race here. So let's get it all slowed down for the pit entry, and should be a pretty comfortable stop onto the soft compound tyres. Get it all slowed down, don't speed. There we go. Nasty does it. And now we're going to, like I said, come in for soft tyres. Hopefully we can not lose too much time to Raikkonen and Perez, and not be miles behind. 2.7 stop, not too bad, nothing spectacular. We've seen much better in the past, but I'll take it anyway. And I can't see anyone near me, so I might be rejoining in the lead here. This is looking pretty good so far. We've got cars coming down the pit lane now in the form of Carlos Sainz here, but I think we might rejoin in the lead. We've got Perez in third on softs, so that's an interesting strategy. So maybe Perez and Raikkonen are going to the end, but we're going to rejoin in first place. So those laps that I did from lap 9 to lap basically just now were in rich mix, so those really paid off. I knocked it down on standard for the final sector before I came in, but those 3 laps in rich mix where I almost pretty much matched my personal best, they really paid off. That super soft tyre worked very nicely for me, and now we're on the softs. So let's hope this tyre works just as good as the super softs, and we can try and bring this car home in first place. Perez is in third, so Raikkonen is at least behind him, which is good news. And speaking of Perez being in third, it's not going to be in third for much longer as he does go for a move on Sainz. So Perez is now up into P2 here, and we've got to try and find the pace now and hold on to this lead. So let's crack on with it and try and win this race. Okay, so Lewis is actually in third place on super soft, so he came in very early for those tyres, and it seems to have worked out for him. And I wonder if Perez is, obviously Perez is probably on the one-stop strategy now, as I take a huge chunk out of that corner. And I wonder if Raikkonen's on that one-stop or the two-stop. I can't tell. I will say this, in those laps where they came in and I stayed out another 3 laps, neither Perez or Raikkonen actually set a fastest lap in the process. So maybe if they are both on soft tyres, maybe this tyre is not particularly great. Whereas Hamilton did do a couple of purple laps, so maybe the super soft is the tyre you want to be on. Either way, we're holding first place, and Perez isn't exactly catching me. We're sort of similar for second times at the moment, so things are looking good so far, as I just have a sketchy rear end exit there, but so far so good. Right, there we go, then finally a personal best. I'm just starting to get on top of this tyre a little bit now as Hamilton comes in. It's not a great tyre, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't feel spectacular, but it's definitely better than the worn super soft I was on. So so far it's paying off for us. We just extended our lead for the first time slightly over Perez that lap, so let's keep going, and we should be setting some okay lap times. How about that for consistency? Absolutely just nailed and matched my last lap, literally dead to the absolute millisecond. So far pace is good. Raikkonen's in P3, so there you go. I think Ricciardo might have just come off those ultra softs. But Raikkonen, one is confirmed to be on soft tyres for me, which I know you guys would have already seen on the replay cameras, but Raikkonen is on softs, so that means he's probably on the one-stop strategy. So let's see where he is. How many seconds is he behind? 8.3. Right, so that's the gap, visual gap on the map. There he is, so we can now control this race. Luckily, Perez is going to be our wild card here today, so things are looking good, because I could even let Perez win the race, and that would pretty much ruin Raikkonen's chances of winning the race. So right now, Raikkonen has to catch up to a double Mercedes train here, which is looking very good for me. Right, so far tyres are driving pretty nice, only a couple of tenths shy of my personal best, and me and Perez are pretty much neck and neck for pace. He's like, whenever I have a dodgy lap, he catches up. Raikkonen's also catching in slowly. It's about 2-3 tenths a lap, so right now it's looking very good. We're under control, and so far, unless there's like a safety car or something, which I bloody well hope there isn't, then we're going to be pretty alright this race, I think. Right, into the 1 minute 39. That was a pretty good final sector, actually, and just managed to hook it all up. Also, maybe signs that the fuel load is actually just starting to burn up a little bit. Raikkonen is still catching me, though, so Raikkonen's seemingly picking up the pace. Literally in cohesion as I pick mine up, so it's literally he's like almost reading my mind and my pace change, but Raikkonen also picking up the pace a little bit more here. So right now I'm pretty much, I wouldn't say on the limit, but I'm pushing as much as I pretty much can whilst in standard mix, so I might have to crank up the reach if Raikkonen gets a bit closer. Okay, I'm just starting to struggle slightly now on these tyres. I'm still in standard mix, but I've got a bit of reach if needed. Perez is just outside of DRS here, but half a second off that last lap. Just first signs, I had a couple of lock-ups, and overall just a bit of a scruffy lap. First signs that the tyres might be going, so just got to try and concentrate here, make sure nothing goes wrong now in these late stage of the Grand Prix. We're pretty much good news. The good news is we're pretty much out of the safety car period now, which is good. So now it's a question of trying to keep Perez behind, and it's almost like with the track conditions getting cooler and the night time arriving, I'm sort of losing a bit of grip, but hopefully we should be okay. Like I said, we've got bridge mix to defend if necessary, and that's what we're going to dip into right now. So here comes Perez. He's got some pretty good straight line speed, to be fair, and we're just going to sort of just cover the inside a little bit and not allow him to make the move. He's on my outside, to be fair to him. I'm just going to close the door and not let him make the move here, but Perez looking for a sort of late upset and trying to snatch the race win right at the end, and if it does pass me, I'm not going to be too concerned, but now that I'm this close, I'd rather just take the race win myself. Right, I'm already in rich mix here to try and defend from Perez, and he's definitely within DRS this time though, so we're just going to have to keep wary that he might go for a lunge here. I don't think he's close enough, so we'll be okay to hold on to our line into the brake zone this time. So there we go, we're just catching up to a bit of lap traffic. That Toro also just left the pit, so it should be okay on fresh tyres, so it shouldn't get in my way, but now the concern is behind us, and Perez, like I said, with DRS wide open, same power unit as myself, he could be a threat. Here comes Perez once again. Good straight line speed. I don't think he's going to attack me just yet into this brake zone, so we should be okay, but he's getting ever closer now. Oh, virtual safety car. I was going to say, for a second I thought if that was a safety car, I would have been absolutely distraught, but luckily it's just a VSC, but oh wow, that could have been catastrophic with only 3 laps to go, but never mind, it's just a virtual, so we're okay. Okay, VSC is done and dusted, and we're back under racing conditions here, so DRS is re-enabled. We've got to open up the rear flap to try and stay ahead of Perez. Luckily, we've got enough of a gap. I think that VSC actually helped me out because I managed to get a really good restart, so we should be okay from Sergio Perez. So I think he's not going to attack me. He's pretty close, but he's not close enough to make a move into this brake zone here, so I just run it in a bit deep there, but we're going to hold on, and we're still comfortably in the lead, but Perez is definitely knocking on the door, put it that way, so he might go for a pop him. I'm just going to try and break the slipstream a bit, go to the outside, but now he's going to tuck in as the natural racing line curves, but still, once again, just holding on, locking up the right front slightly though. Got to be careful into there. It's not the first time I've done that, but we are going to hold on for a little bit longer here. Okay, we've not had a great exit this time though. Perez might actually might be close enough to have a crack here, and here he goes. I'm going to pull to the inside with him and try and squeeze him. We're going to give him a good old squeeze as there's only like 1.5 laps to go, and we've got to try and hold on to this lead. We're going to go around the outside of the chicane here and hold on to our lead, but are we safe? Can we get some good traction? We have got some good traction, but Perez has got some bloody good traction himself. So here we go. We're going to cover the inside again here into this next brake zone. Perez is going to go for the outside. Can we get it also down the brakes? Perez is really good on the brakes around the outside there. We're going to go side by side into the chicane. I'm just going to hang it around the outside and hold on to my lead for now. And Perez got 1 lap to go, so let's try and hold it now for literally 1 more final lap of this championship. I've only just realised, because of the battle with me and Perez, Raikkonen has now caught up. He's within DRS now on the last lap of the race, so we've got to be very wary of this, and we've got to be very, very careful. We're now in first place, but could we lose it right at the end? Hopefully not. Perez is going to be under attack from Raikkonen, but I might be under attack from Perez here. I've got it in rich mix, and I think I've got enough to stay ahead of the Mexican for now into this brake zone, and there we go. We are going to stay in first, so we've only got 1 more brake zone to negotiate. I've just missed my apex a little bit there, but we should be okay. He's going to pick up the traction on the exit here, and that is some good traction there to stay ahead of Perez. The question is he close enough for a lunge right on the last lap here? He's going to have a look. He's actually going to get pretty close, actually. I'm going to just go defensive just in case. He's going to opt for the outside. I'm going to run it in very deep, close the door on him, and there we go. We've held on. Raikkonen now making a move on Perez, and he's made it stick. So Raikkonen is into second place, but is it too late for him to try and make a move on me here? I think it might be. We're going to keep it in rich mix to the finish line because we want to be safe. The gap we've got is pretty damn big, and Raikkonen is going to need a miracle for him to try and win this championship. So here we go. under the bridge for the final time on the last lap. Couple of corners to go, and I think, looking behind, looks like we have got this in the bags. Here we go, through the penultimate corner now. Make sure we don't extend because we could get a possible penalty. Through the final corner, and we're going to come through now to home to win the race and also the World Drivers' Championship. Get in there. Second time we've won the championship. What a race. What a result. The car was absolutely sublime this race compared to Brazil, and what a race. There we go. Officially confirmed. We are the World Drivers' Champion for the second season running. And look at that special tribute helmet to the one and only Michael Schumacher for this race in its metallic form with the famous stars, which I hope to one day emulate. But what a season, what a race, and overall I'm very, very happy with that. We got Mercedes back on top, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And there you go, confirmation, we win at Abu Dhabi. What a race. And Raikkonen, well, he tried his hardest. He definitely tried his hardest. A couple of races, including Kota, he really did try. But we managed to prevail, stay tough throughout, and we've won it. And what a race that was. I really enjoyed that one. The car was fantastic, especially that first stint won me the race. Those super softs were absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad I qualified on those. But there you go, the final podium of the season here at Abu Dhabi. And what a way to send off the season into next season. And the question is, what does the future hold for me going into the next season of Formula 1? But for now, there's the podium. We're on top. And what a season it has been. What a race. We are the World Drivers' Champions for the second season running. Right, so looking at the final race results, we win the World Drivers' Championship and the final race of the season ahead of Kimi, Raikkonen, and Sergio Perez rounds up the podium for the final time this season, with Sebastian Vettel coming home in a disappointing P4 after having car issues earlier on in the Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton, my teammate, come home in 5th and 6th respectively. Hamilton from 14th on the grid, making a nice recovery drive. Fernando Alonso, who started 10th, finishes in 7th place, so really, really good drive from him. And Carlos Sainz, his fellow Spaniard, in 8th, ahead of Palmer and Magnussen and Van Dorn in 12th. So maybe McLaren had some good pace this weekend, and very encouraging for them. Ocon only managed 13th place, and Verstappen down in 14th, and Hulkenberg down in 15th there. So a few issues for those guys, with Kvyat bringing up the rear. But in terms of the driver standings, after a very, very long season here, we win by 13 points over Kimi Raikkonen, and Perez takes him 3rd place. So very good job from him. And Vettel just leapfrogs Hamilton in the last race of the season for P4. But in terms of the constructors, Mercedes win the constructors, back on top again, and we end Ferrari's dominance for after three consecutive seasons, and we beat them by 11 points. So pretty much as close as you could have got it, and the closest the gap's been in so long. So Ferrari really tried hard in that last race to try and win it, but both championships are coming back home to Brackley, and what a season it's been. But we're now going to jump into the laptop for the final time this season, and who knows, I might have already made a contract decision by then. So let's jump into it. Right then, so no more laptop action. A decision has been made on my future. All I'll say is this: I got offered Toro Rosso, Renault and Williams, and of course an offer to stay at Mercedes. So tune in next episode, guys, and you'll find out very soon what team I went to. But other than that, a massive thank you for the support on the entire season, guys, and a big thank you to anyone that came on board during this season. And if you have missed any episodes, then I do urge you to check out the playlist link down below in the description. Also, that'll be on screen in a moment. And if you have missed any races from the past 4 seasons, also there's a chance for you to catch up there, and also our past 3 seasons with Force India. And yeah, guys, a massive thank you for the support. If you have enjoyed this video, smash the like button. Let's try and smash 300 likes on this episode. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for plenty more F1 content coming your way very soon. And yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Until then, goodbye.